Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and this video is titled How to Embarrass Yourself at an Air Show, although the Thunderbirds had me beat. Back in the mid-70s, when I was an instructor in the T-37, we were having an open house at Vance Air Force Base. And the actual open house is over the weekend, but in the Friday before, we had kind of an open house for just the people on the base. And the Thunderbirds, of course, do practice sessions. They have to get used to the area, so they'll have a practice session, and we were able to watch the practice session. Now, here's the T-37, and I was telling my wife, pilots are really great people, and if you don't know that, they'll absolutely tell you they're really great people. So I'm telling my wife, and um, as of now, we've been married for 52 years, and I fell in love with my wife because she is beautiful, intelligent, and she doesn't suffer fools gladly. And that's wonderful, especially the last part, unless she ends up suffering me, and then it doesn't work out so well. But I got 1,000 hours instructor time in this aircraft. I've got my certificate of master instructor, and I'm walking around the airplane. I'm showing it to her, and you see this horizontal stabilizer back here. Well, my wife is 5'1", and I don't know exactly how far this is off the ground, but it's a little bit above 5.1 inches, and I'm 6 foot. So I'm telling her about this, and she's walking around in front of me, and she walks under the elevator here, and I walk following her directly into it and bang my head. She turns around, she looks at me, starts laughing, and says, "How much time you got in this aircraft?" Now, at the time, the Thunderbirds were flying the T-38, and both the Thunderbirds and the Blues, I admire them amazingly. They have a great job. In fact, if it hadn't been both for the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels, I probably wouldn't have been as excited about being a pilot in the military as I was. I saw them fly at the time, the F-4 Phantoms, and I was blown away. I had no idea what it was like to fly in an aircraft like that, but I just said, I want to do that. That looks so cool. So these guys perform a very important service. And yes, it looks great and glamorous. I had a Thunderbird lead. He was lead for 2 seasons. He was my co-pilot when I was going through Airbus training. And of course, the guy's sharp. And they really have to put on the display, not only professionally flying, but on the ground. These guys are always on, and they always have to be good. So it's not easy. And, they're going all over the country and the world, and they're flying air shows in places they, have very little experience. They have to go in there and they have to do, an analysis of the area and stuff like that to get an idea of the terrain. So they get practice air shows. They have a lot of briefings, but still things can go wrong. And this is the tale of one of the wing pilots. And this was kind of, I think, kept close to the vest. I think only those of us that were at least pilots at the time really quite understood what was going on. So this is a tale that probably isn't widely known. But one of the wingmen, we're watching them doing the various formations and the diamonds and all this stuff. And it's just cool, to watch them do this. In fact, one of the 38s they had chosen for the Thunderbirds, they had taken from our base. They went around to all the bases and they were saying, hey, we need nice T-38s. And they'd look over ones that they thought were the best of the best. And they took those and then they put 12 coats of paint on them and made them look really, really pretty. So they're out there flying around, and we're seeing one of these passes, and I notice one of the wingmen disappears to the left over the hill, and we're all kind of going, wait a minute, this is Enid, Oklahoma. This is flat as can be. There are no hills to disappear over. And I'm kind of straining my neck, and I'm going, man, this guy has to be low if I lose sight of him. And what's kind of interesting is the air show kind of stopped then. He pulls up. They come around, they do a little rejoin. I think lead's kind of looking them over, seeing what's going on, and they land on the outside runway, the farthest from the ramp area, and they taxi back to the center base ops area, and there's a mechanic out there really quickly unscrewing the wingtip of the Wingman's T-38. What we later found out had happened is, he got low. He got very low. And the outer 1.5 foot of the T-38 wingtip is made out of fiberglass because it gets very thin. The rest of the structure of the metal structure is farther on in, but he had had cut off about a foot of that wingtip on a farmer's fence row. You know how tall fence rows are? We're talking like 4 feet. He had cut off that wingtip, and we knew that because the farmer a couple days later brought this wingtip in and says, "Did you guys lose something?" And we found out the story, but they parked in the center. They did a really quick wingtip change, and they were going for the air show on Saturday, just like nothing had happened. So I'm sure little incidents happen like this. Hopefully not all the time, but the unfortunately the big events where there's actually a crash, so those get the publicity. But this is one of the minor events that probably pretty much goes unnoticed. So that's a little story I thought you might enjoy. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.